I don't have better news, so I'm not sure I want to share my story now because it's just as bad, if not worse. It's just disgusting humans. So you want a disgusting human story?
Let's do it.
I don't want to say this guy's name either, so it's probably not going to be. I'm having a great night with names. All the stories are names I can't pronounce. Art Kaplan, I'll go with that guy. Have you seen this story? Golden State's Warrior owner. Okay.
Yes. Yes, I
Shamath
did.
Palihapitiya. Nobody cares about the Uyghur genocide in China. We can kill Muslims. This is a part owner of the Golden State Warriors on a podcast and basically got caught saying the quiet part out loud using that phrase. Um, Nobody cares about what's happening to the Uyghurs. Okay, you bring it up because you really care, and I think it's nice. How condescending that was to me. I
Mhm.
couldn't get my head around how awful that is. Let me see if it'll play. Let's just let him just do it. Come on, see if it'll go. I'm probably gonna get an ad because it went to 22 seconds.
Nobody cares
run
about.
again? Is
No,
this it?
let's be honest, nobody cares about what's happening to the Uyghurs. Okay, you bring it up because you really
What?
care, and I think
What do
that's
you mean
nice that
nobody
you care.
cares?
The rest of us don't care. I'm just
Well,
You
telling
really
you a
don't care?
very hard.
Wait,
I'm
you're
telling
saying
you
you
a very.
personally don't care?
I'm telling you a very hard, ugly truth. Okay, of all the things that I care about, yes, it is below my line. Okay,
Oh,
of all the
that's-
things that I
that's-
care about, it is below my line.
Disappointing.
Got that below the line. His line, though, he does care a lot about climate change. He does care a lot about uh, the people, the people of color that are in jails in the justice system. He cares about those things, but he doesn't care about actual human beings that are being rounded up in concentration camps, murdered, tortured, who knows what else. You
Well,
said you heard this. What was your
did-
thoughts on this? I was like, I actually felt like, what am I hearing? Am I hearing a hot mic? Am I hearing a podcast? What am I hearing? Because at first it didn't click.
I thought it was a mistake at first, actually. But did he say that nobody cares?
Yeah, it was a very broad statement. It's what he was
Right.
trying to
You
get
know,
at.
you know,
And obviously that's hyperbolic, but he meant
right.
no
But
one of significance and not a significant number of people care. And he
yeah,
definitely is reflecting the NBA. I don't care what anybody says. No one's asking him this question if he weren't an NBA owner. No one is asking him this question if it wasn't the NBA who was partnering with China and turned the other cheek a year or so ago or 2 years ago when this stuff kind of came to light about how bad things were in China and why they were keeping their relationship open. And James came out. He was critical of people who were siding with the Hong Kong protesters. How dare they do that? It was like, no, you're pro-communist China. That's the only reason this guy's being asked that. So it's basically he can say he's not speaking for the NBA or whatever. They can try to roll it back, but that's why this is coming up.
well, I think the sad part is that he may be right. Maybe nobody does care. But I would say it's not because of lack of empathy. It's probably ignorance. I think a lot of people just mention Uyghurs to the average person on the street, and I would venture to say most of them won't even know what you're talking about.
If there was a video like we saw in Afghanistan where people hanging on an airplane wing,
Mm-hmm.
what would change then? I think it would change overnight.
Yeah.
People would demand something being done.
Yeah.
It would be unacceptable that Americans would see. This is what gets us in these foreign policy messes because we have a heart and we're so wealthy as a country. I don't care what anybody says, that we feel like we can do something. We can't see suffering like that, and on the scale in these other countries because we don't see it here. And if we had a snapshot of what it was really like, something that would really went viral, though, it'd have to be viral. It can't just be another random documentary. It can't just be a Daily Wire interview. It can't be on the Glenn Beck show. It's got to be something that goes viral like that Afghan airplane wind video. It changed everything, and I think that's what it has to be. So I think you're right, and I'm not saying the guy's wrong. I'm just saying it's disgusting. He's basically explaining why the NBA has no problem profiting off the human rights violations. Turn the other cheek, look the other way. And if you're giving the NBA any of your time, you're giving them money. If you're buying any of their products, you're giving them money. I am a fan. I am a fan of sports in the sense of I know what's going on without watching a minute of it or doing anything that gives them money. I know how well the Warriors are doing this season compared to last season. I know what's going on in the NFL without giving them a moment of my time or my money. Fans, if you don't say no, this won't change. And I don't know. It was like a weird confessional thing for me. I had such a hard time knowing what to say or do with it. It really was weird for me.
Yeah, well, he's just a very bad man. But I think this. I mean, I'll turn it around. I think this just because of the ignorance. Where is cable news talking about this stuff?
Yeah, it's kind of being brushed, right? I mean, everything just kind of moved along.
Fox will talk about it just because they want to blast Biden and stuff like that. But most cable channels won't even touch a topic like that, and it's, I don't know. I think it's pretty important that a whole race of people, I guess that's the right word.
Well, it's Muslims. They're Muslims. So wait a minute. We're supposed to be.
They're Chinese Muslims, right?
Yeah. So it's like, well, wait a minute. They're people of color and they're Muslims, and you don't care for money and ratings. It's so disgusting.
And it's females too. It's women.
Yeah, they're being raped and pillaged.
I saw one interview with one of them on TV the other day, and she was like, they were translating it, but it was like, all the stuff they did to her body, all the evil stuff they did to her body. She was just, spilling it out while she was, tears were welling up. And I mean, you had a feel for her. It's like, I mean, such brutality and horror.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that's about all I got on that.
Bro, I tell you,
it's just a rough topic.
Yeah, it sure is.
But what can the United States itself do, though? We can.
And I think is indicative of the Chinese problem. And I know, no matter what we do, we have to. There is going to be a pro and a con. There's enough smart people in the way. And I still think Trump missed the boat because he went down avenues that sounded terrible on paper. The idea of having more sanctions and tariffs against China and some of these other countries, and we all had panics, man. We're like, oh my God, he's going to destroy it. In reality, most of these countries caved. And I think we could have done more to help Taiwan be a nice surrogate instead of China and try to figure out economical replacements. He moved forward some regulation cutting. There probably could be so many more that would make it so much easier to roll back some of this stuff. And just got to cut off the customer base. We got to cut it back. We can't be their customer, man. We just can't do it. But I don't know. I don't see it changing. I do think the guy's right in that regard too. People can say they care, but if they got to pay this much more for a Blu-ray player, will they care then? I don't know. Are there iPhones? Because Apple's just as bad. We could put an Apple thing up here too and throw them under the bus because they're just as bad enablers of this mess. All right.
Hey, we're News Talk with Brandon and Bob. We're here to tell you about some of the facts so you don't have to waste your time watching CNN.
We don't want you wasting any time with CNN.
Or Fox or MSNBC or some of these other guys that are making a whole lot of money.
Et cetera, et cetera.
He's not paying.